So today we're talking all things salad dressing. My 3 staple salad dressings that you are going to love and that you are going to have in your repertoire forever because they are so easy and they taste so good and they purpose all different types of salads. So we're doing a classic lemon vinaigrette, and then we're doing a beautiful orange, honey and ginger dressing, and then we're doing a delicious peanut butter, soy, ginger, syrupy kind of dressing too. So you're gonna love them. I'm gonna walk you through step by step how to make them, and then the sorts of salads that you can use them on. And I think you're gonna find that these will become your best, favorite, your next 3 salad dressings that you'll use for a very, very long time. So our first staple dressing that I'm sharing with you today is my classic everyday vinaigrette. And I'm gonna get straight into it. So we've got a couple of ingredients here. I always say a good quality extra virgin olive oil is so important in salad dressings, and they can range in price. So just, if you can, buy the one that you can best afford because it really does make a difference with your salad dressings. So we're gonna start, I've just got an everyday jar that I'm gonna have stored in my fridge when I'm done. We're gonna start with about half a cup of extra virgin olive oil. Pour that into your jar. Great, so different parts make up a dressing. The olive oil is gonna be the fat content, but then also we're gonna do a vinegar, but I actually use a vinegar and a lemon juice. So both acidic components in my everyday vinaigrette. So you can pop in the white wine vinegar. That's about 2 to 3 tablespoons. And dressings always come down to, these are my favorite ingredients to go into a classic everyday vinaigrette. And I actually first got this recipe from my gorgeous mother-in-law, Janie, who has made it for 30 years and everyone just loves it. So it's slightly adapted from that, but you can play around with whatever you like. So if you prefer a more acidic, a bit more vinegar, that sort of thing, add some more white wine vinegar or some more lemon juice. If you prefer that more olive oil taste, then obviously add more olive oil. Then I'm going with some Dijon mustard. So it's about a teaspoon of Dijon mustard, and Dijon mustard in a dressing is really great because it acts as an emulsifier. So it will basically help blend the vinegar or the lemon with the oil and does so pretty easily. So I'm just gonna add a little bit more of that. So that's our Dijon. Dropped on the bench. I'm gonna go my lemon. So again, about 2, 3, 4 tablespoons. You be the judge. If you like a really tangy, lemony vinaigrette, then add more. I love a really, especially with a green salad, a really tangy, zesty vinaigrette is the best. So I'll add half a lemon for now, and then in the end we can have a taste and see. Then I've got 2 cloves of garlic here. I really love garlic in a salad dressing, an everyday one, especially when you're having it at dinner time. But lots of people find garlic quite strong. So you can either chop it up more finely than this or use less, or use a jarred minced garlic because that often is a lot weaker in sort of flavour and aroma and that sort of thing. So add a little bit of that. We can always add more in the end if we like. Dropped a little bit of that too. Some good quality sea salt flakes for a good quality dressing, a good pinch of that, and then some cracked black pepper. And I also had the zesty here in case you want to add a little bit of lemon zest. I find that optional. So see how you go. You can taste it in the end, and if you think you want a bit more of that lemony flavour, you can do that. So that's it. So there we can see, we've got our oil component and then our vinegar and lemon component and the Dijon sort of in the middle. So once we give it a nice shake or a whisk, that will all come together beautifully. So make sure your lid's on nice and tight. I've done that before. And then we give it a shake. And there it is. And it's just, I love this. I mean, this is one I use all the time. Sort of like a French vinaigrette, but I also just love the color. I think it looks beautiful when you pour it over a salad. So now we're just gonna have a little taste. Check our components and check if they're good. So, delicious. So it's nice and tangy. You get that sort of, that glitch at the back of your throat, at the back of your mouth. But I really like the vinegar and the lemon component in that. It's really nice and zesty and tangy. So I wouldn't add any more of that. I can just taste the garlic, which is really lovely. Seasoning's good. I don't like a lot of Dijon mustard in my salad dressing, so I'm gonna stop there. but that's pretty perfect in my eyes. So there you go. Pop it in a tight fitted jar or a screw top jar, and it can store in your fridge for up to, I mean, I've left mine for up to 2 weeks and it's still absolutely fine, but most things will say 7 to 10 days is perfectly fine. There you go, my everyday classic vinaigrette. It is just beautiful. So dressing number 2, very interesting, quite different, but also a wonderful staple dressing. It is my orange and ginger dressing. So we're going to start off with extra virgin olive oil. As I said, good quality really helps with salad dressings. About half a cup of that, or a third of a cup, half a cup. Again, I always say with dressings, you've got your list of ingredients here, but then depending on what you like, you know, if you like it more acidic, if you like it more sweet, you can change it for that. Then I'm going with some orange juice. So about 3 tablespoons of orange juice. Again, if you love oranges, that kind of thing, and depending on the salad you're making, you might want to make it more orangey. And then I've just got here some orange zest that usually I'd put it straight into the dressing, but because I'm using a small jar, it kind of can go everywhere. About a teaspoon or so of your orange zest or rind. Then I've got some apple cider vinegar, so 1 to 2 tablespoons of that. That's going to be your acidic component to your dressing. Then as a little sweetening agent, which we didn't have in our classic vinaigrette, but I've got about a tablespoon or 2 of honey. So pour that in. That offers some beautiful sweetness to this delicious dressing. Before we season, bit of ginger. And ginger, you know, if you love ginger, you'll just love this dressing. But obviously it adds a real interesting kick of flavour and aroma to the dressing. So add that. Again, I've probably got about a 2 centimetre knob of ginger chopped up here. Start with adding half of it. You can give it a shake, have a try and see how you feel. And then some sea salt flakes. So a really good pinch of that, I always say, really good pinch of sea salt flakes in all of your dressings, unless it's sort of like an Asian dressing with fish sauce or something like that, that is always already naturally quite salty. And then some cracked black pepper, and that is it. So we're gonna pop the lid on. You can always make it up in a small bowl with a little whisk and do it that way, and then move it into a jar. Or if you've got a nice secure lid with your jars, I would say just make it up in the jar and then it's ready to go and ready to store in your fridge. Now the thing with the honey is that sometimes it won't, so you can still see it on the bottom of the jar, which is not a problem, but just make sure you give it a really good shake to really incorporate that honey. Another little trick is, if you're getting it out of your fridge, or you found that, your room might just be quite cool and the honey is sort of solidified on the bottom, pop it in the microwave for 5 or 10 seconds and it will just slowly heat up that honey and then loosen it up. So we're gonna have a try of this now with a fresh spoon. I was about to use the spoon with the honey, but that's not gonna help me taste it. All I'm gonna taste is honey. So grab a little bit. Love this dressing. It's just so different. As you saw, it's only a handful of ingredients, 5, 6 ingredients. Most of them you have at home anyway. The combination of the orange juice and zest, the ginger and the honey just makes it so interesting. So I really, really love this dressing. I encourage you guys to try it. Something for a little bit different if you serve it. When people came over for a dinner party or something with a salad, you'll definitely get people saying, oh, wow, that salad's so interesting. What have you done there? So it's a great little one to have in your repertoire. Third and final staple dressing that I recommend for you to have in your repertoire that you can make from time to time is my Thai peanut dressing. I love, love, love this dressing. Different to the other two, it's much thicker, goes with more Asian-y flavors, which I'll go through and show you at the end, but let's get making it. So start with half a cup of peanut butter. I have just run this through the microwave for about 20 seconds because what I find in making a dressing with peanut butter, often it solidifies if it's at room temperature, so it can be really hard to mix. So pop it in the microwave for, 20 seconds or so, depending on the heat of your microwave, just to soften it up. Then we're going to add about 2 tablespoons of rice wine vinegar. So again, we're adding that acidic element to our dressing, but being rice wine vinegar, it's just more of an Asian ingredient. Then we're going to go 2 tablespoons of light soy sauce. Beautiful. I love seeing when these colors come together, like the peanut butter brown with the soy sauce. It's always one of my faves. Bit of sweetness to this one, so it's pure maple syrup. You can also use honey or you can use brown sugar. I like pure maple syrup in this, and that's about 1 to 2 tablespoons depending on how much sweetness you like. We've got some sesame oil. So add that, that's only 1 teaspoon. Sesame oil can be quite strong and overpowering. So we kind of just want to go with 1 teaspoon. Again, if in the end you love sesame oil, you can always add more. And then we've just got a little bit of garlic and ginger. I probably should have chopped this a little bit finer. I don't mind chunks of garlic because I love garlic, but if you aren't that into garlic, make sure, and I've said this before, either chop it really, really finely, use less, or you can use some jarred garlic. And then we've got our chopped ginger as well. The ginger just gives it a wonderful, obviously an Asian ingredient, but also gives a really wonderful flavour and kick to the dressing. Now, what we will do as well is add a little bit of water to this, but I'm not going to do that just yet. I'm going to get my lid on, tight fitting jar as I always say, and you're going to give it a really vigorous shake to break down that peanut butter. And you can use crunchy or smooth peanut butter, whichever you prefer. So we're going to give it a really good shake. There's still a massive chunk of peanut butter in the middle. Sometimes you need to get a fork or a whisk or a spoon and give it like a bit of a breakdown, a manual breakdown. Let's have a look. There's still quite a chunk of peanut butter in the middle. So I'm just gonna start to do this, which is just push it up against, or a whisk works really well if you've got a mini whisk. Break it down, it's starting to break down now, which is great. This dressing, you can already smell it, the sesame oil, the ginger, the peanut butter, the garlic, it's just superb. Yeah, see that's breaking down really well now, so just give it a nice tough stir. Then we shall give it another shake. Yeah, see that's really thickened up now. So now what I'm gonna do, and everyone is different with this dressing I find, and depending on what you're serving it on, it's a really good drizzle sauce too. So if you've made things like chicken with some bok choy and rice and things like that, drizzling this sauce on it is divine as well. But what I'm gonna do now is add a little bit of water. So see how thick that is? It's got really, really thick. And what we're gonna do is just add like a tablespoon of water to that at a time. Be very careful, it is so easy to go overboard. And then you've just got this really wet, thin, kind of not very nice salad dressing. So nice and thick there. I really want to break that down. You can do a neutral flavored oil as well. So a light olive oil or a peanut oil or canola oil, but I actually just like adding water because it doesn't then make it very rich. So about that, then I'm going to put lid back on. Make sure the lid is on so we don't get peanut butter up on our ceiling. Oh no, wait, it's not yet. Yes, okay, I think that's on properly. Give it a good shake. Still feeling too thick. So I'm gonna open it back up. Starting to break down. It just actually looks like a jar of peanut butter at the minute. I'm gonna add a bit more water. Stop there, about a tablespoon. Lid on. Shake, shake, shake. And see now, you can hear it. It turns really quickly. And that's why I mean add a tablespoon at a time. Don't just go nuts because then you've gone overboard and you can't take it out. So we have a look at that. I reckon that's sounding pretty great. And let's see that consistency. Oh, that's getting good. So depending on how you're using it and what you're using it on, you might like to stop there. That's a really good consistency for a drizzle sauce on, barbecued or pan-fried meats or anything like that. I'm actually gonna add a tiny bit more water just to get that really salad dressing kind of consistency. Here we go again. That's sounding good. And I reckon we're there. Yeah, great. So see that? We've got a really lovely, but see how quickly that turned. So before it was still quite gluggy and thick, and I've probably just added a tablespoon there, and it just coats the back of the spoon but runs off really quickly. So for things like noodle salads, soba noodle salads, things like that, this is a great consistency because it's able to get through the salad ingredients really well. So there you go, that is, and oh, let me have a little taste. But the problem with this one is it's so yummy, I could just actually just keep having tastes of it on its own and finish the jar. Oh wow, love that one. You get all the yummy peanuts, but you get the garlic, you get the ginger, you get the soy, you get the sweetness. Just so yummy, that dressing. So a perfect Asian staple dressing, a peanut and soy, whatever you want to call it, dressing to have ready to go in your fridge. So to show you guys how these 3 beautiful salad dressings work, I've actually just thrown together 2 quick salads. Now, our classic vinaigrette. So this is the one that I go to all the time. It works so well in anything green. So green leafy salads, anything with green beans, steamed greens, beans, Brussels sprouts, anything like that. Anything leafy, if it's rocket, if it's spinach, if it's radicchio, even though that's not green, but anything like that, an iceberg lettuce, a butter lettuce, this classic vinaigrette is just superb. So you're gonna give it a nice big shake, and then I always say, less is more with salad dressing. So don't pour a whole bunch on and drench the salad because obviously you can't take any out. You just want to coat the leaves. And so we're just going to pour that over our beautiful, this is just a basic green salad with some rocket. We've got some sliced pear there, some shaved parmesan and some cucumber. I'm gonna stop there. You can always add more. We're just gonna give this a toss. And I love this dressing for even just a simple salad like this for a dinner party. So when you've got people coming over and you're serving something that needs sort of like a side salad or something like that, this salad is great. You can also add some nuts, walnuts, almonds, whatever nuts you like, some toasted chopped nuts on top, work really well. That is it. You kind of don't want to drench the salad. The best thing about salad dressings is that lid can go back on and it can be in the fridge for 10 days. I hold it up to 2 weeks sometimes. So keep that in mind, and you just want to coat your leaves so that they're not saturated, they're not drenched. And then you've got yourself a delicious green salad. It is incredible how a really simple green salad of 4 ingredients can be so lifted to the next level with a beautiful, delicious vinaigrette like this. Next up, I'm using my beautiful orange, ginger, and honey dressing. And I've just made up a really quick, simple brown rice salad here. So this dressing also can work on a green salad or your greens, just to give it something a little bit different and a bit of a kick. But I love it where there's a grain or something more dense in the salad. So, you know, brown rice, a grain, pasta, anything like that. This really coats it so beautifully. The rice takes it up and it's just delicious. So this one's quite thin too, so you want to be quite careful. You don't want to go too nuts and then you've drenched everything. So just pour it over, beautiful. You can always add more. We're going to stop there. And this is just a really simple salad of brown rice, some currants, some broccolini, edamame, and red onion. And then you give that a toss. So anytime you're making a salad, yeah, that's sort of got, it's not light, you can use that on a light and leafy salad, but when you've got brown rice or freekeh or quinoa or farro or pearl barley, any of those kind of grains, this is where this salad dressing works really beautifully. Gonna have a little taste, check we've got enough on there. That's what I love about this dressing. Just as simple as our classic vinaigrette, but with that honey and that ginger and that orange juice and orange zest instead of using lemon, which I love lemon, but it offers something a little bit different, and that is just superb. And I bet you make something like that, it doesn't take you too long and you'll have everyone saying, oh my gosh, what is that flavor in that? It is just beautiful. And it comes down to this delicious dressing. And lastly, we've got this addictive peanut butter, soy, ginger maple syrup dressing. I haven't made up a salad for this one because I thought I could just tell you about it. I've shown you 2 great salads here for the other 2. This is great with anything, any kind of noodle salad, so soba noodles, udon noodles, sometimes even vermicelli noodles, any kind of rice Asian salad, so poke bowls, any kind of rice, because it coats, it's a nice thick dressing, so you want it to be able to coat over that. It is delicious drizzled on meats too. So if you've made up any kind of salmon or chicken or beef with some rice and some veggies, drizzle this over it and you won't look back. It is a delicious, addictive salad dressing that I know you guys are gonna love.